Good evening, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And Bonsai greets you as well. You got a bonus. And Bonsai knows how serious the subject is, so he's carry on a bit, okay, guys? Seniors moment, serious seniors moment happening. Anyway, it is what it is, as I always say. Okay. Now, Bonsai, that's enough. That's enough, Bonsai. Okay. Let's get back to the subject at hand. You know what? Politicians in South Africa seem to have a coat of Teflon around them when it comes to going to court on corruption charges, because they're all involved in the corruption, right through the whole pile, the ANC, the EFF. So if they point the bone at someone else, then it's going to be pointed back at them, so they don't point the bone at anyone. They're all in it for the take, and that is self-evident. Now, if you're not a senior politician, if you actually work for a political party and you do the same thing, you're learning from your bosses, whoa, the world comes down on you like a heavy hammer. And you might recall that the NPA suggested that the reason why the politicians are not being arrested over state capture in the Zondo Commission is because there's a shortage of prosecutors. Well, you tell Ernst Rutzap, he was called up before the courts like that, over that little tweet that he put up. Okay? Now, that apparently is more urgent and more serious than the billions and billions of rands that have been squandered and stolen by very senior ANC politicians, who will probably never ever see court about it. Let me give you the equivalent with the EFF. Well, Julius Chameleon Malema, he's in all sorts of trouble. I mean, he's been completely exposed by a paper called the Daily Maverick, and it's very, very interesting what they've come up with. And of course, the EFF are denying all this, but that's what they do. And this is only part 3 of the corruption and fraud that Malema has been exposed on. And of course, the NPA are going to say, look, we haven't got enough people to prosecute. I'm sorry, guys. In November 2018, Amabongani reported that a fleet rental firm had paid what looked like kickbacks to a company associated with EFF leader Julius Malema, just before the firm won a 1.2 billion rand contract from the city of Johannesburg. The 500,000 rand that AfriRent paid Malema, linked to Mahuna Investments, appeared to confirm allegations that the EFF was using its position as kingmaker in some municipalities to influence and benefit from procurement. But the denials came thick and fast. The EFF claimed neither it nor its leaders had anything to do with the matter. The city commissioned an internal probe which cited officials saying they were not pressured politically. AfriRent, for its part, denied having known about the link between Malema and Mahuna, claiming that it had paid the company for legitimate services on a separate contract that it, AfriRent, had for the supply of farming machinery in Limpopo. Now, new evidence has pulled the rug from under the denials. AfriRent, it appears, had a direct relationship with Malema and the EFF. The evidence is that it footed the bill for a tractor that the EFF claimed to have donated to communities while electioneering in 2018. And it happens also to have paid a second company linked to Malema. AfriRent's Limpopo contract alibi appears equally wanting. After a lengthy search, Amabongani found no evidence that Mahuna performed work on the contract, and even if it did, a fee of 500,000 rand seems entirely unjustified. Okay, that's the commander-in-chief of the EFF. Outed for corruption. Outed. But will he go before the courts? Don't hold your breath. What about Mr. Floyd Shivambu and his brother Brian? Well, they're equally deep in the shit They've been exposed too. The Economic Freedom Fighters, or EFF, Deputy President Floyd Shivambu is allegedly under scrutiny over a luxury Range Rover Sport. The Mail and Guardian is reporting that the Range Rover Sport was allegedly purchased with illicit proceeds from the VBS Mutual Bank. You know that bank that went belly up after it had been totally looted by these politicians? Yep, the same one. The Hawks have asked a Land Rover dealership in Morningside for documents relating to the vehicle in question. The luxury off-road vehicle retails for a minimum of 1.1 million rand. Julius Malema speaks to the Mail and Guardian investigative journalist Thandukulu Jika about the report. And Thandukulu Jika said the following: "There is a white Range Rover that Floyd Shivambu went and bought in January this year. It was cash that was used to buy the vehicle. Floyd said there was a shortfall and he traded in his 2013 Range Rover. That is how he managed to get this. The question is around the money he had and was paid for this Range Rover. Who actually paid for it? Grand Azania? Skameka? That is what investigators are trying to establish." Jika says he asked Shivambu for a comment on the story, and he said he raised the money to buy the vehicle. Floyd said he bought the vehicle. He raised the money. He says this is a smear campaign by Werkman's attorneys that have been doing illegal investigations on him. Okay, so you can get the picture here. There's a lot of money just flowing around these EFF leaders, and that's why they have the best of everything, and they live in fancy houses, and their wives wear designer clothing, and they wear designer clothing, and they live in the life of luxury, even though their salaries cannot support it. So there's something wrong there for a starting point. But let's consider, if you're not in that sort of black privilege setting that the senior politicians are, you know, where they can loot and steal and do whatever they like and they never see a court about it. But if you're an employee of, for example, the ANC, and you steal from the ANC, whoa, does the world come down on your little world? A former ANC employee has been jailed for 5 years for embezzling more than 350,000 rand from the governing party. Precious Dube, 31, was convicted of 52 counts of fraud. On Friday, at the Durban Specialised Command Crime Court, she was also given a suspended sentence of 4 years for 52 counts of money laundering. You see how the small fry get... But the big fish? Nah. Leave them alone. Let them swim. You know, this is justice in South Africa. This really personifies justice in South Africa. Dube, the one who's now in prison, falsified bank statements and invoices to divert money into her account, while a data capturer in the finance department at the ANC provincial branch office. From January 2011 to October 2013, Dube falsified 52 invoices totaling 1,524,447 rand and 45 cents. Now, I bet you Zuma couldn't have said that. Anyway, she changed the bank details of service providers to reflect a larger amount than charged. The ANC would pay the money into her account, and Dube would pay the service providers and keep the balance. Dube was caught after a financial audit. She admitted guilt while confronted with the evidence. Magistrate Garth Davis said Dube's guilty plea was not a convincing mitigating factor. He said, "I accept that there is a degree of remorse." She testified she apologized to her employer. But one cannot lose sight of the fact that she had 33 months and 52 occasions to reconsider. Her contrition seems to have fully taken effect when the game was up. It was revealed in court papers that the ANC forgave Dube and wanted to drop the charges, but the state prosecutor refused. Now, I wonder why the ANC wanted to drop the charges when 350,000 rand has gone out the window. I think it's because of guilt, right from the top. It was revealed in court papers that the ANC forgave Dube and wanted to drop the charges, but the state prosecutor refused. The ANC offered to hire Dube back at a salary of 15,000 rand a month so she could use some of it to pay back some of the money she stole. Davis scoffed at the idea, saying the ANC was treating fraud like an interest-free loan. Dube, a single mother with a 7-year-old child, was sobbing as she was led down to the holding cells. So, it kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? I mean, really, you don't have to say much more than you've got a completely incompetent government which is protected by an NPA or a National Prosecuting Authority that is not going to charge these senior politicians, because they've all been elected by these senior politicians and they look after the mates. But as in Dube's case, not so lucky. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video, and above all, stay safe.